Here's a tough truth. As pet owners, we often feel we know our dogs inside and out, their favorite spots, foods, even the people they avoid. But unfortunately, sometimes, what seems like just another common behavior is a cry for help. From a slight change in the way they eat, to behaviors like trembling or hiding, each of these signs is a red flag. In this video, I'll walk you through 7 dog habits that may appear normal but are actually a warning sign. Some of these may surprise you, and the last one could even mean a life or death situation. So stick around and let's get started. 1. Sudden changes in eating or drinking habits. This is something that often flies under the radar. Many people assume a skipped meal is no big deal, but for dogs, a sudden decrease in appetite can actually indicate discomfort. Often, a decreased appetite is linked to physical discomfort, dental pain, stomach upset, or even anxiety. They may avoid food because chewing hurts, or because they're dealing with digestive distress. Alternatively, if your dog is suddenly drinking more than usual, this can point to more serious health concerns like kidney disease, diabetes, or Cushing's disease. But what if it's just a passing mood? Sometimes it is. If your dog skips a meal once and is back to normal the next day, it's typically not a cause for concern. However, if they start consistently turning down food, losing weight, or seem to have an unquenchable thirst, that's a sign it's time to pay closer attention. 2. Excessive licking or chewing. If you've noticed your dog constantly licking or chewing one specific area on their body, it's likely they're signaling discomfort, irritation, or even pain. Dogs lick to self-soothe, whether it's from pain, itchiness, or anxiety. For example, if your dog is focusing on licking their paws, they could be reacting to allergies, joint pain, or even a minor injury. In fact, some experts link repetitive licking with stress, especially if there's no visible wound. But why do they resort to licking and chewing rather than showing more obvious signs? It all comes down to instinct. Dogs have evolved to self-soothe through grooming, which includes licking any painful or irritated spots. This behavior can be traced back to their wild ancestors, who used licking as a way to clean wounds and calm themselves in stressful situations. So, if you notice your dog engaging in excessive licking or chewing that seems out of the ordinary, it's worth investigating. 3. Pawing or scratching at their face or ears. Pawing at the face or ears isn't just a cute habit. Frequent scratching or pawing at these areas often means irritation, which can be due to something as simple as an ear infection or a foreign object such as dirt, debris, or even a tick that's irritating the area. But it doesn't stop there. An untreated ear infection can become painful, leading to more severe issues, including hearing loss or balance problems. And here's the tricky part. Even if you don't notice visible swelling or redness around the ears, your dog could still be suffering. Sometimes, the irritation is subtle, like an internal ear infection or a slight allergic reaction that's not causing visible symptoms, but is still causing discomfort. So, if you catch your dog pawing at their face or ears more than usual, it's important to take notice. 4. Hiding or seeking isolation. It's a situation many pet owners have experienced. Your usually playful, attention-seeking dog suddenly vanishes, retreating to a quiet corner or under the furniture. This sudden desire for solitude might leave you wondering what's going on. After all, dogs are inherently social animals, right? So why the sudden change? Well, dogs have a natural instinct to hide when they're feeling vulnerable. This behavior is often linked to anxiety, fear, or physical pain. When dogs experience discomfort or stress, they may instinctively seek isolation as a way to protect themselves, much like a person who wants to retreat when they're feeling unwell or overwhelmed. It's their way of coping with what they can't express. So, if your dog starts pulling away and isolating, it's time to pay extra attention to their behavior because it's definitely a warning sign. 5. Unusual panting or changes in breathing. Panting is completely normal after a play session or during a hot summer day. But if the panting starts to seem excessive or occurs at odd times, like when your dog is resting or hasn't been active, it's a signal to pay attention. So why does this happen? Dogs often pant heavily when they're anxious, stressed, or in pain. The panting helps regulate their body temperature, but it's also a way for them to cope with discomfort. In fact, changes in breathing patterns, especially when your dog is resting, can signal something more serious. According to veterinarians, changes in breathing patterns, especially during rest, could indicate anything from respiratory issues to heart disease. But when should you start to worry? If you notice that your dog is panting heavily with no clear reason, or their breathing becomes shallow or labored, it's time to take notice. A dog that continues to pant excessively, especially when they're calm or inactive, might be dealing with a medical condition that needs attention. If the panting doesn't subside after a reasonable amount of time, it's best to consult a vet. 6. Aggression or drastic changes in behavior. Aggression is one of the most obvious signs that something is wrong. If a friendly dog suddenly becomes aggressive or unusually protective, it often means they're feeling uncomfortable or in pain. According to veterinary experts, dogs in pain or stress may snap or growl because they're trying to avoid interaction that might hurt them further. In fact, sudden aggression can be their way of telling you they feel vulnerable and they don't know how to communicate their distress in any other way. So, what should you do when this happens? Don't approach your dog aggressively or forcefully. Instead, try to gently approach them and see if they're receptive. If they seem tense, back off and give them space. These behavioral shifts are usually their way of alerting you that something is off. So take their cues seriously and seek guidance if the behavior persists. 7. Trembling or shaking. Finally, let's talk about the sign which is one of the most intense and alarming signs: trembling or shaking. Shaking isn't always a sign of distress, but if your dog trembles in specific situations, during storms, at the vet, or around strangers, it often indicates anxiety or even panic. When a dog experiences fear, their body releases adrenaline, leading to full-body tremors. However, this trembling can also be linked to more serious conditions like poisoning, pancreatitis, or kidney failure. What makes this particularly concerning? If the trembling is persistent or happens alongside other symptoms such as vomiting, lethargy, loss of appetite, or swelling, you shouldn't wait. Prolonged shaking could signal something much more dangerous, and it could be a matter of life or death. So it's essential to seek immediate veterinary care. Now, as you know, the 7 normal dog habits that are actually a warning sign. Remember that dogs can't communicate their pain the way we do, so it's up to us to notice these changes in their behaviors. Understanding these signs can transform the way you communicate with and care for your dog. If you liked this video, make sure to like and comment. Also, subscribe to the channel because there's so much more to learn, especially when it comes to the subtle signs of anxiety in our dogs. Check out this video that's popping on your screen right now because after watching it, you can easily spot the signs of anxiety in your dog and provide them with the comfort and care they truly need. Click the link and I'll see you there.